Hello, I'm Pamela Lincoln, County Extension Agent with the Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service. We're headquartered in Linden, Texas. Our office is at 123 South Kaufman. Our phone number is 903-756-5391. You can also go to the web and find us on the web. Our mission is to improve the lives of people, businesses, and communities in Cass County through education. You can kind of think of us as the educational arms or the outreach educational arms of the Texas A&M University system. One of the things I want to talk to you about today, since it's a new year, I want to thank you for inviting me into your homes. One of the things I want to ask you to do is to be sure and check on your credit. It's very important each year that you get a credit report. This is important simply because you want to know what's on your credit report, and then also you hear so much about identity theft. And so it's important that you check your credit report to be sure that no one has stolen your identity. Now, about 5-6 years ago, there was a law passed that each citizen could get one free copy of their credit report once a year from each of the 3 credit reporting agencies. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. One of the things that I do is I will get a credit report at different times. I don't get them all at the same time. It's January, and so now I'll get one report, and then about midway, about May or June, I'll get a report, and then somewhere about October, November, I'll get a report. That kind of helps me to see if anything additional has been added to my credit report. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, it doesn't provide you with the credit scores. Now, one of the things you also want to remember is that there are some impersonators out there, so you want to be sure and get some correct information. There's 3 ways that you can get your credit report. You can go on the web and you go to annualcreditreport.com. If you have to pay for a credit report, then it doesn't mean that it's free. You can also call a toll-free number. That number is 877-322-8228, or you can complete an application and mail it in. If you need additional information on how to do this, you can call our office at 903-756-5391. One of the things to keep in mind, remember that nobody can erase negative information from your credit report. The only thing that you can do is work with it, improve your score, pay on time, and that is what will help. But no one can help take that negative information from your credit report. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, this is flu season. All across the nation we're having epidemic cases of flu. Here in our area we hadn't had a whole lot, but one of the things to keep in mind is hand washing. Hand washing is one of the most important ways that you can keep from spreading germs. Now, one of the things to keep in mind with hand washing, you want to wash with warm water, you want to wash 20 minutes or long enough to sing the ABC song. Or 20 seconds, I'm sorry, not 20 minutes. 20 seconds seems like a long time also. And then when you finish, you want to be sure and take your towel or take your paper towel, dry your hands, and you don't want to put your hands back on the faucet, nor do you want to put it on the door as you leave. If you do that, you have recontaminated your hands and you still have germs on it. So that was one thing to keep in mind. Also, I want to tell you, we've just finished Walk Across Texas this year. We had about 8 teams to participate, while we had 2 teams to walk all the way across Texas, and that's about 830 miles. We had 2 teams to walk about 700 and some miles. The average mile each person walked was about 57 miles. Our high point person, the one that has the most miles out of all the groups, walked about 232 miles. And Walk Across Texas is a way of being physically fit. And also during the new year, everybody started trying to find some type of exercise, something to do in order to remain physically fit. Walking is one of the best things that you can do. Today I have with me a special guest. Her name is Dr. Ramona Kellum. Dr. Kellum is an extension specialist. She's housed in Overton, and she is working with a pilot program, Wisdom, Power, and Control. This program will be held in our county. She's working with me, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the Wisdom, Power, and Control program. Dr. Kellum, what is Wisdom, Power, and Control?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to tell you about wisdom, power, and control. You know, we always say that knowledge is power. And education, of course, does provide people with the information they need to get control of their diabetes. So we say wisdom, of course, is knowing about how to control diabetes and prevent the devastating consequences of uncontrolled diabetes. So with this 7-week educational program that we're offering, it will give your clientele and the other people in the county that are interested in controlling their diabetes the knowledge and wisdom to control their diabetes. So that's why we say that wisdom, power, and control. The education will empower you to control your diabetes.
Okay, that sounds real great. Now, what's the target audience?
Well, in this particular program, our target audience is the adults with type 2 diabetes, and particularly if they're African American. Now, of course, this is an extension-sponsored program, so anybody can attend the program. But this is part of a research project, and what we're really doing is evaluating a curriculum that we think will we're trying to measure if it's more effective in getting people to follow the compliance or follow the measures that will keep them in compliance with managing their diabetes. Meaning that instead of someone getting up talking, now I say someone, but in wisdom, power, and control, it's not going to be just anyone teaching. We're going to have a registered nurse as well as a licensed dietitian teaching these classes. And we are looking to evaluate whether or not the method that we're using to teach is going to make a difference in how a person controls their diabetes. Whether or not after 7 weeks of this education, have they done a better job controlling their diabetes?
Well, you know, we have diabetes programs everywhere. What makes this one so unique or so different?
Simply because in the teaching of this particular program, you don't just have a dietitian and a nurse always teaching diabetes. Sometimes you have a diabetes educator, but we have people that have been educated to control diet-related chronic diseases. Of course, diabetes is only one. And to be right there in a small classroom setting, to work pretty much one-on-one with the clientele. And the other thing that's going to be different is that we're going to use vignettes and role-playing. It's not so much that you have to go and read a lot to be compliant, but you'll be able to act out and role-play and then have a voice in the class to put your input in and then, of course, talk about the problems and issues that you're having, and then have someone that has been educated and others in the class to interact with.
Okay. Now, what if I'm not certain if I have diabetes? Do you know what some of the signs of diabetes are?
Well, the signs of diabetes, a lot of times, if you have blurred vision, that's an indication. And a lot of times, if you have extreme thirst, you feel thirsty all the time, and in a lot of cases, if you have frequent urination or going to the restroom, these are signs of diabetes. Now, there are other symptoms, too. And I guess the thing to tell the listening audience is that anything that is out of the ordinary,
right,
and particularly when it comes to your vision as well as your kidneys, is something to really think about. And you may have, even though you may be, this is the time we focus on weight, but if you're losing weight and you're not into any type of training program or anything, all of a sudden you start to lose weight, that too can be a sign that you may have diabetes.
Okay. Those are some very good points. And then also, what about family history?
Yes, if you have a mother or father, sister, brother, grandmother, anybody in your immediate family that have diabetes, then it's always a good thing to get your blood sugar levels tested as well.
Okay. Now, is there going to be a cost for these classes?
The thing about Wisdom, Power, and Control, since it is a pilot program and it is part of a research study, there is no cost to attend this program. We're offering this program in 5 different counties. Cass County, we're going to also be in Harrison County, we're going to be in Smith County, Jasper County, and Jefferson County. Now, with your target audience here in Cass County, we're going to offer these classes in Atlanta as well as in Linden. And so the clientele will have an opportunity to choose from 2 locations.
Okay.
And usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They can choose whether to come to Linden on Tuesday and Atlanta on Thursday. And all these classes will begin during the first week in February, February the 4th, the week of February the 4th. So in Linden, then those classes will start on February 5th. In Atlanta, those classes will start on February the 7th.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the audience?
Well, I certainly would like to encourage your audience that they may not be diabetic, but if they have a husband or if they have some adult children. Now, excuse me, I may not have mentioned earlier that our target audience is anyone over the age of 18. Okay. Someone that that's responsible for managing their diet and basically their diabetes. So anybody can come to the class simply because if you want to learn more about diabetes and what to do. Now, the thing about this particular class also is that it is a 7-week class. So if you come to the class, we'd like for you to commit to attending all 7 lessons. Now, of course, the first lesson, you'll learn all you need to know about what's going to be taught during the following 6 weeks. And you'll learn what is diabetes. You'll learn about how to check your blood glucose levels. You'll learn about eating a healthy diet, eating healthy with diabetes. And then, of course, exercise is part of any type of healthy regimen. So, you'll learn about being active with diabetes. And unlike a lot of other diseases, you have to take insulin in some form, whether it's of insulin or a pill, but you certainly have to take medication. And so you'll have an opportunity to learn about medicine and diabetes. And then, of course, the main thing we want to do is help prevent problems with diabetes. We know that most of the adult blindness and kidney failure, most of the time that's associated with uncontrolled diabetes. And so we are certainly going to talk about the preventing problems with diabetes.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a wonderful program. We're really pleased to have it here in Cass County. If you need additional information, you can call our office. Our number again is 903-756-5391. And Dr. Kellum, thank you for participating today, and thank you for being our guest.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, and stay tuned.